Terence Crawford goes off on Keith Thurman after Keith Thurman mentions him in his live stream, calls his bluff. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Cash App, and the Patreon family. We working. Speaking of Patreon, I have revamped the Patreon. We have new tiers. I started from scratch. This is the Patreon 2.0. In the past, some people didn't get the perks. I dropped the ball on that. So during this quarantine, I had a lot of time to think, and I'm making it my business to, work on it and put out more of the videos you guys want to see. And appreciate everyone that's signed up for the Patreon with the Patreon announcement. So you can catch a lot of the live streams over there. We're going to switch it up. It makes all the business sense in the world. Also, ESPN Plus, cop the bundle. If you need some quarantine entertainment, some content, try the ESPN Plus bundle. Includes ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney Plus, all three apps for $12.99. You can find the link in the description box of all of my videos, and it does help the channel grow when you guys click on that link. Now, WBO welterweight champion of the world, Terence Crawford, he's been going in. Now, I already did a separate video about it, one for my channel members, and then I also did a separate one just for my regular boxing page on YouTube. So check that out. Terence Crawford and his spat, his back and forth exchanging of words, Twitter fingers with Jermell Crawford. You guys got to subscribe to the channel. If you're new, consider subscribing. I post daily content. You'll be able to find that video. So I'm not going to really spend too much time talking about that. But Crawford and Jermell they exchanged words. Charlo said some stuff. He said his boy Errol, his stablemate, sparring partner, friend, would beat Crawford, and it just went downhill. Now, in the same day, Terence Crawford has went in on Keith Thurman. You'll see it on the screen. It says at Keith Thurman Jr. and he tweeted him. He mentioned him. Shut your ass up. You don't know what you want to do, because I bet you if a contract be sent your ass, will find a way out. So stop playing with my name. So he went straight to the source, tagged him. This all stems from Keith Thurman, and I was on that. Keith Thurman did, PBC is gathering some of the fighters, the popular fighters, and they're doing like little Instagram live interactions with the fans and see what's up with the fighters during the pandemic, extra content. So they had one with Ray Flores and Keith Thurman. Now, I didn't stay on the whole time because they were having some technical difficulties, but I did put some of the Keith Thurman Instagram live when he was by himself before he really got on with Ray Flores. It's on the channel. Check that video out as well. But during it, when he was talking to Ray Flores, he says that he's basically down for whatever. He wants Danny Garcia, Pacquiao rematches, maybe Sean Porter, he said during the live. And he also said Spence. It didn't sound that convincing to me, but that's another issue. And then he did mention Crawford's name. When it came to Terence Crawford, he said, send a contract if the money makes sense, if the dollars make sense, and the numbers are decent. He said, all I need is a decent number, and we can make it pop. That's what Crawford's responding to. He's like, man, he's basically calling his bluff, saying, I don't believe you. You need more people. You saying you want to fight me, but I don't think it's true. He's basically saying it's sweet. If a contract was actually sent to you, you'll find a way out, or he's saying you will find. I don't know if he's taunting like Keith Thurman because he's had a lot of inactivity in the latter part of his career with injuries and pullouts and bumper car accidents and back and my neck and my back and elbows and elbow spurs and tennis elbow, broken finger. He's had all these things, these Derrick Rose type of injuries that have plagued him, or at least that's what he's telling people. So he says he don't really want the smoke. That's what Crawford's saying. Listen, this has been brewing for a while. Terence Crawford, I remember I was in Omaha. I think it was Lincoln to be exact. But I was in Nebraska covering his fight for Undisputed. I was there, credentialed. And Crawford was fighting in Dongo. And at the press conference, so this is before he became undisputed, which he later did, a few days later because this was at the press conference, the final press conference. Crawford called out Keith Thurman. He was at 140 still. I got the video. I might even put it in this video. But Crawford said, he said, I want Keith Thurman. He said, I can see myself moving up after this. After I become undisputed, I want Keith Thurman. So he's been calling Keith Thurman out for a while, even when he was at 140. I got the video to prove it that I shot on my camera, on my memory card. Keith Thurman, up until recently, has not really expressed so much interest in the same. Keith Thurman did say, I have an interview with Keith Thurman at the Barclays Center, and he was basically, the times that I ran into him, he kind of fronted on Terence Crawford and said Crawford ain't really beating anyone. He beat Jeff Horn. That's a school teacher. Everybody would have whooped him. I could have whooped Jeff Horn with one hand behind my back. Whether you agree with that or not, he was, kind of slighting Terence Crawford, undermining his skill set, saying he's not in the big boy league because he hasn't beat no one. So it's a great fight. The unfortunate thing is, on my channel, I'm a realist. I just don't see it happening. Keith Thurman's coming off a loss, no belt. It's a great fight. Top Rank, they got their hands full trying to get Crawford a relevant fight, because the last name that I heard that, looked like it could go somewhere was Kell Brook. So, I don't know. We'll have to see. Hopefully this pandemic, maybe is a reality check and the promoters stop being greedy and try to recoup some of the money lost and are willing to work together, or maybe with Wilder Fury Part 2 doing some good numbers and, being overall a smooth promotion. Maybe they'll decide, hey, let's just work together and get this bread. I don't know what the future holds, but until we see a fight I keep telling you, Wilder Fury 2 was a bit different, because before Top Rank was even involved in Tyson Fury's career, they had business with Wilder and PBC. So they really had to make that fight. Crawford versus Spence, Crawford versus Keith Thurman, there's nothing that mandates that fight. Errol Spence is a unified champion with 2 belts, and Crawford is a belt holder himself with the WBO. So therefore, a champion can't be ranked in the sanctioning bodies. So it's not like, you have to make a unification with different sides of the street. As far as Keith Thurman, it would be a great fight. You never hear me take anything away. And I would like to see Crawford fight someone like that. Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, Pacquiao, Errol Spence, any of them, because these are the top. Danny Garcia, hell, even Mikey Garcia. But Keith Thurman just lost his belt to Pacquiao. He was the super champion and Pacquiao was the regular champion. And Pacquiao beat him convincingly, looked good in the fight. And as a result, Keith Thurman don't have a belt. So I don't really see the networks coming together to make a Keith Thurman, Terence Crawford next, because they'll look at Keith Thurman coming off a loss, no belt, dangerous fight. Does the numbers add up to them? Is this going to be worth the splitting the pie and the cross promotion for a fight like that? Especially when Keith Thurman's been inactive and, kind of peaked in and got hurt by Jose Cito Lopez, lost to Pacquiao. So, did he have the strongest year? We've seen Keith Thurman beat guys like Porter and Danny Garcia and not really get hurt like that. So, I don't know. I don't think the timing's right for this fight. But, hey, it's boxing. Anything can happen. Let me know what you guys think. Who would win? Would Terence Crawford beat a Keith Thurman? See, the thing is, Keith Thurman, a lot of people are sleeping on him. Keith Thurman is heavy-handed, has power, can box, can move, has intelligence. I see Keith Thurman, when he fought Pacquiao, he actually won a lot of the later rounds, and if it was, I think the judges gave it to Pacquiao by a very marginal amount. I think Keith Thurman lost by 1 round or something like that. So some people have the notion that Pacquiao blew him out the water, maybe with the knockdown or that the fact that he got hurt to the body late. But it was actually a fun fight, a very fun fight, damn near underrated. More people should have talked about that fight. I really had fun with that fight. But Keith Thurman did pretty good. He just started off really rocky because he was actually winning round 1, but then Pacquiao did that 2-2-2 shit and clipped him, and he was squared up and he fell straight back, and he just was off to a rocky start. And then Pacquiao had him leaking after that. So, you know, Crawford, we still haven't seen him exactly in with the guy with the aptitude and the power and the brand of a Keith Thurman, because Mean Machine has power. He, you know, done some stuff in the Olympics, gold medal, whatever, but he didn't even look good versus Ray Robinson. I thought he lost the fight, and that's the fight before Terence Crawford. You know, he fought Ray Robinson and really should have lost that fight. And he never had the resume that Keith Thurman had beaten Danny Garcia, quality guy, Sean Porter, quality guy, Diego Chavez at the time, quality guy, his mandatory, right? So Keith Thurman has far better resume. Even the Jose Cito Lopez win, it was ugly at spots when Jose Cito Lopez hurt him, but he did knock Jose Cito Lopez down. And, you know, the fight kind of almost got away from him, but there's no comparison to most of the guys that Crawford has fought, their welterweight resume versus the likes of Danny Garcia resume, Porter, Keith Thurman, Errol Spence resume. It just doesn't compare, because Jeff Horn, his biggest fight, you know, would be Pacquiao, who Keith Thurman also fought, you know, and Randall Bailey. And that's it. Errol Spence, meanwhile, fought Sean Porter and Mikey Garcia and Lamont Peterson and Kell Brook. You know, Sean Porter fought all of them. Broner, he fought Keith Thurman, he fought Danny Garcia, he fought Spence, you know, so it's just no comparison. So I would like to see Crawford get what he's asking for, which is a top-level fight. But, you know, the powers that be in the politics, they would have to make that happen. Let me know what you guys think. Terence Crawford, he's been feisty. He's been feisty. He got at Keith Thurman promptly. Like, don't be mentioning my name because you don't want it. Let me know what you guys think of that. Who would win? Would you pick Keith Thurman? Would you pick Crawford? I need some detailed comments in the comment section. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off.
With a one-punch knockout. You won the next title with a clinic boxing Ricky Burns. My question is, are you the puncher in this fight or the boxer?
No, I'm just a regular boxer. I'm a boxer. I don't. It was just a night. It was just ever best ever. I've been boxing for quite long, but I never ended in the ring and give one punch only. So that was just a unique moment I received that night in Moscow.
Anybody else? We good?
Great.
Right here?
This one's for Crawford. In your last outing, you called out Keith Thurman, and Keith Thurman is one of the bigger welterweights in the division. So what do you see? Is there anything beside the two belts that you see in Thurman that interests you?
He's the #1 guy in the welterweight division. So why take 1, 2, or 3, or 4 when I go to welterweight? I want the #1 guy at welterweight.
So you want to go for a title shot if you move up right away?
Right away.
Okay. What's the question?
No one else has a question.
Yes.
This one's for Stevenson. Stevenson, there's been a few notable retirements this year. You know, Klitschko, Bradley, now Mosley, and even Guerrero.
But still, you got to count your blessings. You got to take what you can get. And I mean, just as a fan, I love what's about to happen in just, you know, a few minutes.
You jumping in that ring? Jumping in that ring?
Jumping in that ring?
After the fight?
You know what? Maybe we should do a contract. I already found both. Maybe I should let them do a tag team match against me. Maybe they'll have better odds. You know what I'm saying? If they work together. You know what I'm saying? I know, right? I'm gonna get some hate on this one, you know. But look, man, they're both great. Whoever wins, I'm really interested in it because I beat both. Split decision against Danny, which I don't really think was deserved, but I'm not a fucking judge, so it doesn't matter. You know, I won the fight, and that is what matters. You know what I mean? Sean Porter, grueling fight. I only won by 2 rounds. I scored the fight where I won by 2 rounds. You know, but it was a clear victory win on both accounts by me. And really what I'm trying to witness tonight is which one of these two not only is the better man, but how hungry is it? If Sean Porter stops Danny Garcia, if Danny Garcia stops Sean Porter, that's something that I wasn't able to accomplish. And then certain people online might be like, Keith ain't been doing shit. Look how strong this man is. Keith about to get knocked out. Look, at the end of the day, I think it's a great a rematch. I really believe that, to a degree, both fighters, I understand why they both believe that they deserve the rematch, but the winner truly deserves to get back in the ring with your boy Keith one-time Thurman.
The fans are going to be like, okay, Keith's going for a rematch with Danny and Sean. The other guy, Spence. That's what the fans are all going to say in the comment section.
Yeah, I don't care that they don't understand boxing. Most people don't know shit about boxing. You know, this is one of my favorite quotes from the Mayweathers, and I don't really enjoy quoting the Mayweathers. You know what I mean? But it's real. Most people don't know shit about boxing. I haven't boxed for a long time now, and I want to get back in the ring. Of course, it's going to be a tune-up, and then this a rematch fight is a respectable fight. To act like it's not a respectable fight is retarded. But at the end of the day, why do you want Keith and Spence? Why? Exactly. Number one versus number two. Okay? Of course, the world of boxing wants to see number one versus number two because they want to know, does number two become number one, or is number one that dude? That's number one. Respect that. You know what I mean? So
Spence's
he's number two. He is ranked number. I think he's currently ranked number two. In my book, he's number two, and he deserves to be number two because if there wasn't Keith Thurman, Errol Spence would be number one. But that's because I hold greater credentials than he does. I've accomplished a little bit more than he has, and I just was in the spotlight before he was. At the end of the day, I'm number one for a reason. He's number two for a reason. The reason why you guys want to see the fight, there's a good reason, but I'm not going to come off of this big of a layoff, have a tune-up fight, and fight the number two fighter in the world. That's just not how it works.
Where does Crawford finish this?
Sorry, we gotta wrap
I don't know.
up.
I don't even really think.
2A, 2B?
I mean, I don't even think he's even fought any welterweight yet. I mean, to me, I'm sorry to say, but he's barely a champion. You know what I mean? That Australian,
That's the headline.
you know, I'd give me one eye, give me one arm, and I would have beat that boy. You know?
This is an event that happened overseas.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know. The whole setup looked different.
Yeah. I'm stuck here having to do this instead of
you know.
being out there talking to you and stuff. How are you?
Nah, Mike.
You're all right. You're good, right? That's good though.
Nah.
Been enjoying the time off or no?
So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.